So, OpenAI just dropped its latest model, GPT-5, and the hype has been absolutely massive. But what does it actually do? Is it really that much of an upgrade? And more importantly, what does it mean for you? Let's get into it and untangle what's new.
Right out of the gate, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman is making a massive claim. He's not just talking about a simple update here. He's framing this as a complete change in how smart the model is. The promise? It's like having an on-demand, PhD-level expert in your pocket for, well, anything. That's a pretty huge promise, right? Let's see how they actually back that up.
So here's the best way to think about the leap they're claiming. If the old models, felt like you were talking to a super smart college student, GPT-5 is supposed to be that true expert, someone with deep, specialized knowledge. So let's see what this PhD expert can really do.
All right, first up, let's look at the real-world impact of having this kind of expertise, just a click away.
And look, this isn't just about some abstract tech benchmark. This is real life. At the launch event, Carolina Millen shared this incredible story about being diagnosed with 3 different cancers. She took her complex biopsy report, fed it into Chat GPT, and it gave her clarity when she needed it most. It translated all that dense medical jargon and gave her a breakdown that was so thorough it helped her have a much better, more informed conversation with her own doctor. That is just an incredible example of the human side of all this. So the big question is, how did they pull this off? How did they get this leap in intelligence? Well, it wasn't just about throwing more data at it. It was a fundamental change in how the model actually works. It's all about working smarter, not harder.
Which really gets to the heart of it, right? What was the actual problem for you, the user, that they were trying to fix with GPT-5? Okay, so if you were a Chat GPT power user, you'll definitely remember this. It was a mess, honestly. You had to pick from this whole confusing list of models, GPT-4o, Pro, Mini. Each one was supposedly better at different things. How were you supposed to know which one to pick for what you were trying to do? It was just confusing.
Well, with GPT-5, all of that is gone. Thank goodness. They've rolled everything into one single smart model. You don't have to guess anymore. The AI itself now figures out what you're asking it to do and just applies the right amount of brain power automatically. And the magic behind this is a new feature they're calling thinking mode. If you ask it something simple, it uses a light, fast version of the model to get you an answer quick. But if you give it something complex, it automatically decides to think longer, kicking in its heavy-duty reasoning to give you a much deeper answer. And the best part, you don't have to do a thing. It's all seamless. And for those simple, everyday questions, man, is it fast. In one review, someone asked, how many rings does Saturn have? GPT-5 spit out the answer in just over 3 seconds. The old model took more than 6. For how many iPhones has Apple made, it was 8 seconds versus 11. That's like a 30 to 50% speed boost on the basics. Okay, but speed is one thing. The real test for an AI like this is in the tough stuff. So let's see how it actually handles complex coding and creative tasks. Okay, check this out. This is where it gets crazy. A reviewer asked both models to make me a game of Tetris. The old model took nearly a minute to crank out a pretty basic but functional version. GPT-5? It took just 19 seconds. And without even being asked, it built a way better game with a score, levels, and even a next piece display. It just knew to make a better game. It had the intuition. And the difference gets even more stark when you give it something really complex. When asked to make a playable game of Pokemon chess, the old model, it just fell apart. Error after error. But GPT-5? It actually told the user it was thinking longer. And then it produced this amazing, premium-looking game that not only worked perfectly, but it even included cool features like highlighting all the legal moves for each piece. And yeah, the reviewer's reaction pretty much says it all. This isn't just a small step up in coding. It's a completely different level of performance. It's a world apart. And this wasn't a one-off thing. This new software-on-demand power was all over the launch event. We saw it build a Minecraft clone, a professional landing page for a software company, and even a whole French learning app, complete with a little game, all from a single prompt.
All right, so as amazing as all that sounds, let's be real. No AI is perfect. To get the full picture, we have to do a little reality check on where GPT-5 still has some work to do.
And yeah, the whole making stuff up thing, that problem of hallucination, it's still here. When one reviewer asked both models to list tech products made by food brands, they both just invented things, like a McDonald's phone. So the lesson here is you still gotta fact check what it tells you.
But one area where there's been a huge improvement is in its writing style, its creative flair. When asked to write a eulogy for the old models, the GPT-4o version felt, well, it felt like a template. But the GPT-5 version, it was so much more genuine, more emotionally resonant. It just got the nuance of the situation. You can feel the difference. But here's a heads up. It's not a home run across the board. Reviewers have pointed out that when it comes to making images, GPT-5 isn't necessarily a step up. In some side-by-side tests, the images were actually less impressive than the ones from the previous model. So that's one area where it hasn't quite caught up yet. So, wrapping this all up, with all that said, what does this actually mean for you? Let's break down how you can get your hands on this newly upgraded AI sidekick. Okay, so here's the deal on who gets what, and this is a big one. For the very first time, the best, most advanced model is now available to free users. You get a daily limit on messages, but it's there. Once you hit that cap, it'll switch you over to a lighter but still powerful model. Plus users get way higher limits, and pro users get pretty much unlimited access to the main GPT-5 model, plus extended access to that deep thinking mode. So when you boil it all down, what's the big takeaway? GPT-5 is a major leap. It's focused on real intelligence and, maybe most importantly, on simplicity. They've gotten rid of the confusing choices and built an AI that's just smarter, faster, and way more intuitive for everybody. And that really leaves us with one big final thought. If OpenAI has actually delivered on their promise, you now have a PhD-level expert on pretty much any subject ready to go whenever you want. So the question isn't about the tech anymore. It's about you. What are you going to do with it?